How are you? I'm doing pretty good today, and I wanted to talk about hand injuries. And today's topic is going to be wrist injuries. And that's why I've got these on to kind of talk about them. These are wrist grips, which are compression bracelets. And if you're a classical guitarist, and let's say your wrist hurts, you know, sometimes classical guitarists deviate a little bit too much, or there's a lot of tension in the wrist. What this does is it compresses, you know, on the wrist, keeps everything in place, prevents the tendons from rubbing up against each other, which is what causes tendinitis. Tendinitis is inflammation. The itis is the inflammation. So one of the things that I advise to people I coach or students or other pros that I know that are working through an injury is, okay, well, you can wear these when you're practicing or playing a gig or something to help you out. The other benefit of this is if you're deviating, you can definitely feel it. So it's going to make you more aware if you practice using them, what you're doing incorrectly in terms of ergonomics and biomechanics. In terms of the right hand, if you deviate to the right too much and wiggle your fingers, you're going to feel tension. Keep it straight, you're going to feel it's a whole lot easier. And if you deviate to the left, same thing, it's going to be slower. So the big thing is to learn to keep the wrist relaxed and to keep it straight. Even, you know, if you're playing a guitar that's electric like this, try not to deviate like this or anything. If you're playing a classical guitar, same thing. You're going to try to keep your wrist straight. You're not going to go too far this way or too far that way. You're not going to go too far this way or too far that way. You want to be somewhere in the middle. Same thing with the left hand. You don't want to do this. There are guitar players who do this, and they're bending their wrist all the way out. Now, try to move your hand. That's going to be pretty hard, but if your wrist is straight, it's going to be easy again. Now, if you bend this way, you're going to feel tension again, and it's going to be harder to do. So once again, this time you would wear it on the left arm, and that would kind of keep all the tendons and bones in place and the fluid, you know, doing its thing properly. And then it'll also keep you aware of keeping your wrist straight. So when you're playing guitar, it's easier to move and to play. It's more ergonomic. I've had people ask me, okay, well, when can I use these? You can use them, let's say if you're suffering from wrist pain, I would say using them when you practice would help. And if you're carrying, let's say you're carrying equipment, you're doing a gig, wearing these will help support your wrists. So that would be a good thing as well. The key is make sure that it's not too tight. You know, it's the Goldilocks principle. It's not too tight, not too loose. And you know, that's part one. Part two, we'll be talking about hands and hand pain and possibilities for solutions there. And part three, we'll be talking about the tennis elbow as well. One other thing before I forget, also take NSAIDs. And if you can ice your wrists as well. NSAIDs are basically Tylenol, Motrin, Aleve, whatever works best for you. I like Motrin because it's ibuprofen. And I hope that you don't injure yourselves. And if you do, try to use something to help. And I'll see you next time.